The next 7-star Tera Raid battle event has been officially announced, and it's going to be a Tera Bug Samurott. So as you guys know, I predicted the last Tera Raid. I predicted the Tera Flying Decidui. Well, I actually predicted this Tera Bug Samurott as well. So I'm 2 for 2 on predictions right now. I just wanted to flex that because I don't know, I have some logic to these predictions, but I actually got it. I didn't get the Tera type right. I got Tera Flying right on Decidui, but this time I thought it was going to be a Tera Steel Samurott because it has a giant steel horn, and steel seems like a obvious and helpful Tera type to give Tera shards away for too. But no, we got Bug. Anyways, I actually made this one-hit kill strategy before Tera Bug was even announced because I just got super excited and I started making strategies for raids that weren't even announced yet or might have never existed. But I thought it was gonna be Tera Steel, so I built it around that, but it works perfectly fine with Bugs, so that's cool. Now that it was announced, I made 2 other strategies that I actually think are a bit better just because they're a bit more accessible, because you know this one has 2 Paradox Pokemon, and then Stonjourner is also a version exclusive, so Scarlet players will be shaking in their boots trying to get a Miraidon and Moth, and Violet players will be shaking their boots for Stonjourner, you know. So basically how this works is that Iron Moth is going to be harnessing the power from both Pokemon Scarlet and Violet from the past and the future. It's going to be using Electric Terrain and Sun. Yeah, that's right. So the Electric Terrain from Miraidon is going to be boosting its Quark Drive, and then Sunny Day from Stonjourner is going to be boosting the Fire type power of Overheat. So with all that combined with Iron Moth's insane base 140 special attack stat, this thing is gonna do so much damage. So let me explain the rest of the strategy. Stonjourner is gonna be using its ability Power Spot, and Power Spot is gonna boost the power of Iron Moth's moves by another 1.3 times. And obviously with that, it's gonna be setting up Sun, and Miraidon's gonna be setting up Hadron Engine. Miraidon is also gonna be using Metal Sound, which will lower Samurott's special defense by 2 stages with the wide lens to make it more accurate. And then Florges is going to be using Chilling Water on Iron Moth to activate its weakness policy, which will boost its special attack by 2 stages. And then because its weakness policy is being used up, Florges' ability Symbiosis is going to pass a Choice Specs over to Iron Moth, and that will boost its special attack by another 1.5 times. And so with all of that, I have the calculation here. A +2, 252 special attack Choice Specs Quark Drive Iron Moth Power Spot boosted Overheat versus a -2 Tera Bug Samurott in Sun has a 3,000 to 3,500 guaranteed one-hit kill. And so the threshold for 7-star Tera raids is 3,000%. So basically what we're trying to achieve is doing a move that does more than 3,000% of its HP on turn 1 before a turn is allowed to even pass. And so that has been accomplished with this, but there are a few problems, and that is, well, first, Metal Sound has like 93% accuracy combined with the wide lens. Excuse me. And then Iron Moth's Overheat also has 90% accuracy, so it isn't the most accurate, but yeah, that's what I originally came up with. It will be somewhat consistent, but there will be times where you miss, and hopefully that won't be too punishing and you'll just be able to use your move again, no problem. But it might be punishing, but don't worry, I have a 100% foolproof strategy coming up, but I'm just giving y'all options for what Pokemon you can use, you know. So the next strategy is actually going to be based on our beloved Charizard. And so Charizard is quite unassuming with a base 109 special attack stat, is nothing to write home about. But with its ability Solar Power, which boosts its special attack by 1.5 times in the Sun, and then Sun also boosting fire type moves, and then being a starter Pokemon having access to Blast Burn, which has 150 power, this thing is going to cook huge amounts of damage. And so our Charizard here is going to be holding a weakness policy, and it's going to be activated similarly to the previous strategy with Florges' Chilling Water, which is going to activate its weakness policy and then boost its special attack by 2 stages. And then, of course, once it uses the weakness policy, it'll pass a Choice Specs, and that boosts its special attack by another 1.5 times. Torkoal is going to be using Helping Hand, which has another 1.5 times modifier to Charizard's Blast Burn. And then, obviously, it has Drought, which summons Sunny Day on switch-in. So that's going to be doing wonders for Charizard being a fire type and having solar power. And then our last Pokemon here is Maushold, and that's because it has the ability Friend Guard, which I think is important here because you might do a bit of damage with Chilling Water, because Florges actually has a pretty nice special attack stat of 112. Even with Chilling Water being 50 base power and not being stab, it might do a bit, but Mouse holds friend guard is gonna protect us. And then it also gets fake tears, which is a 100% accurate move, which lowers Samurott special defense by 2 stages. So with all that together, I have the calc once again, and this calc is actually insane. This calc we got up to 3,887 to 4,574%, and I even got some strategies that went all the way up to like 5,000% and even more. So that's just like absurd, but it is a bit more consistent and accurate with less power. It doesn't really matter once you pass the 3,000 threshold, but this is the strategy I like the most and what I think is the most consistent if you're going to be running a Charizard based strategy. So yeah, as you can see, sorry, that's a different calc, 3,887 to 4,574. I'll tell you, you're gonna have no problem taking out that Samurott. And so for our final strategy, and this one is like the most consistent and like takes like literally like no setup. Like a bunch of people who haven't even finished the game yet could set this up in like 10 minutes. Like this one's going to be really easy to use, and it also is 100% accurate. You can't miss with this one, so that's also super nice. I think this is going to be the best strategy for everyone. You don't need any insane Pokemon to use it with, and it is 100% accurate. You can't miss. It's pretty foolproof. Yeah. So if you don't know, the new Tauros forms have the ability Anger Point. If this Pokemon takes a critical hit, its attack is raised by 12 stages. So what we're going to be doing is using one of our Pokemon to force a critical hit on this Tauros, and that's going to boost its attack by 12 stages. Our go-to here is Meowscarada, and that's because Flower Trick has no accuracy check, whereas other moves that force a crit have 90% accuracy. So Meowscarada is our most reliable option to get a crit off on our Tauros and activate Anger Point. So you only need a Meowscarada at level 36, and that's actually going to be the most optimal, but it doesn't really matter what level it is because you're not doing too much damage anyways. But level 36 is the most optimal just because that's the minimum amount to be able to use Flower Trick anyways, or have a Meowscarada in the first place. It's going to hold a Focus Sash so it doesn't die, and it's going to use Flower Trick on our Tauros and activate its Anger Point. Tauros is also going to be holding a Choice Band, which boosts its attack by another 1.5 times. Torkoal could literally be level 1. It doesn't matter. You just want a Focus Sash on it, and you want it to be able to use Drought. It doesn't matter, you could do a level 100, level 1, just hold a Focus Sash and use Drought and you're good. So with Drought, it's going to be boosting the power of Flare Blitz here, and then it's also going to be using Helping Hand on our Tauros, which will boost its Flare Blitz by another 1.5 times. And then our final Pokemon here is Magnemite, and our Magnemite is going to be level 24 because at level 24 Magnemite will learn the move Screech. And the reason why we're using Magnemite is because it has access to the ability Sturdy, so we can actually hold an item such as Zoom Lens, which will boost its accuracy by 1.2 times if it moves after Samurott, and that's going to make Screech 100% accurate. So it can be able to survive a hit from Samurott and then also Screech it at full accuracy with Zoom Lens. And you're going to be going last. You have 45 base speed, and then at level 24 that's like 34. So yeah, you could use Magnezone. It could be level 100. You just need Sturdy though, and you need a Zoom Lens. I just want to make this as easy as possible, so I'm putting Magnemite in level 1 Tauros. It doesn't really matter. So you're going to be Screeching Samurott, and that's going to lower Samurott's defense by -2 stages. So with all that here, we have the calc 3,563% to 4,192. This is going to be the most reliable and easy to set up strategy. You could get your friends to set this up in about 10 minutes. I think this is going to be great for farming the hell out of this Samurott. There could be some tricks the Samurott plays on us, you know, you never know when it comes to Game Freak. And actually one thing that could make this thing a whole lot easier with the other two weakness policy strategies, Samurott could be using like its Razor Shell or another water type move like on turn 0 before turn 1 even starts, because we've seen that happen in the past. So if that happens, then Samurott is going to be activating the weakness policy, and we don't have to manually do that. So like for this strategy, Florges won't have to run Chilling Water, it could run Helping Hand, and then Torkoal could actually do like an attack cheer, and then with that boost we wouldn't even need a Choice Specs. We could run a Wide Lens, which boosts the accuracy of attacks by 1.1 times, so that would make the Charizard strat 100% reliable, and you wouldn't have that 90% accuracy thing. So that could be really nice if that does happen, but I base the strategies around if that doesn't happen for fairness, but I will do adjusting once the thing comes out, and I'll make another video hopefully. Same thing with this strategy. It would be a lot easier if we don't have to manually activate weakness policy, but we don't know. And yes, I did experiment with tons of different things. I experimented with Defiant Braviary, Sheer Force, Sky Attack Braviary. I experimented with Stone Edge Crocodile. I experimented with Iron Thorns, Lycanroc, Honchkrow, Ceruledge, Flareon, after all that experimenting, these are the 3 strategies that I were able to make work. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you like this type of content where it's like more chill and I'm just talking to y'all. I really hope that I can grow some sort of audience here because I have so much fun making these videos. You know, it's been something to look forward to. It's a new little hobby, and I hope I can share my love for Pokemon and making raid strategies with others, and yeah.
Watch her sell me on the scene, taking off her jeans, spent like 10 minutes on Celine. She like sipping lean, I like smoking trees.